Hello, everyone. We
Hi.
are live. Everyone should hear us and see us.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Please confirm you see us and hear us so we know it's not just a chat between friends.
I think we may be having a problem.
Yeah.
It's one of those evenings today. It feels like getting anything going has been very challenging.
At
Um,
least she froze in a very happy expression.
yeah, I suppose you could say that. Kind of questioning at least.
But happy.
But it seems like we might still be live. I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can see a comment.
okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, Camilla freezing, but Giorgia and Ian good. Okay, perfect.
Okay, well, I don't know. Hello,
Hi.
and Camilla is recovering from the spiritual interference in the Wi-Fi network, clearly, and
Actually,
so
we cast a spell on her, so that's why.
now Camilla has a duplicate. No,
No.
okay. This is
I,
great. This is real magic
guys,
happening.
I
Clearly.
think that this is an unexpected magical event,
Yeah.
which is broken internet, broken Wi-Fi. So I will try.
Oh no.
No.
It seems to just be one of those evenings. Well, I guess.
It's working? Maybe? No.
So I think we're still here. Okay, Camila now is trying to get back, otherwise we might.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I really hope this doesn't keep going on during the night. Unfortunately, I have some connectivity issues, as you might have seen. Hello, hello. I see that you hear us and see us, so you know it's that's very good, guys. I hope you didn't start having fun without me and answering all the questions that the people have been leaving in the comments for
No,
us.
I have difficulty even finding the comments. That is how tech savvy I am. So I'm really depending on you.
Oh, absolutely. I am pulling out the email that I shared with you with some of the most asked questions, as well as a couple of other very interesting ones. Yes.
But first of all, I think could we take a moment because we had this rather rocky start, and we didn't have a chance to just say wow and thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry. My connectivity problems created this, but yeah, I mean, wow. Yeah, unfortunately, Giorgia was with us in mind and spirit, but me and Ian were here in live streaming, live chat, talking with everybody when the campaign started, and we
Less
both
than a
were
week
like,
ago, and it feels like
yeah, it feels like a lifetime, and and wow, I've really it's seeing how much this campaign has grown, the kind of dedicated following that it's calling, like, I don't want to be sappy, but it's like a fount of magic that's calling a lot of witches. So, it really makes, it really makes it special, and seeing so much interest and so much love and, so much desire to see where this campaign will take us, both like as an end result and also as like the kind of core book and of game that will come out of this. I mean, the seed is already there because the quick start has most of the most important rules and gameplay mechanics, but seeing how much each of the bakers is contributing to the campaign, and how their support will help us build the best book possible, hopefully. Yeah, it really means a lot. for all of us. I mean, Ian and Giorgia are authors, and so they see. I think they only see the word count that grows, and like, oh no, more work.
No, that's not true at all, actually. I mean,
That's a joke.
it's
I know it. That's a joke.
but to really have something that you've kind of written, imagined, with other people, of course, but also a lot of time spent in front of your computer by yourself with ideas bouncing them off of the other members of the team, and the fact that whole work then turns into what we have so far of the game, and the overwhelming really uh, uh, the overwhelming excitement that this campaign has achieved. It's just really overwhelming and very exciting, and the idea that so many people are interested in this thing that we're trying to make, and hopefully will stay interested also in the months after the campaign, as we keep working on the game and play together maybe.
Will we overshare? We will probably overshare.
Oh, sorry, am I oversharing? Is that what you're saying?
No. I was saying that in the coming months, will we probably overshare the kind of thought process behind everything? We probably might, but it's. I think it's set in the ways of creative people wanting to share everything of their process a little bit.
But really, thank you. Yeah, I guess that's what I want to say.
Yeah, I'm really speechless, so I just say thank you. I guess that's crazy.
Yeah. This is really. I think we can confidently say that even though we wholeheartedly believed in the beauty and the potential of the project, we never could have guessed this not even results, because we still have quite a good number of days. It's the 23rd and the campaign ends on the 3rd of March, so basically a week still. So it's fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay, so I am now going to take the questions out. These are obviously not all the questions that were asked in the comments. Most of them we tried to answer them in the comments on the campaign. So if there's anything that that maybe we are not answering here, it might have been already answered in the Baker Kit campaign. So feel free to go and check that out. I will put the link in the comments. If for any reason you are here, but you have not heard of pumpkin spice, it could be. I mean, it's not. It's something that could happen. So I will share the link here in the comments as well. I'm sorry, I have seen this question and I think it's a good one to start at this comment. A totally serious question. Will there be silly puns in the game? And will there be a lot of them? And this is Alex Valente, which is our translator from Italian. So, he loves a good joke. Hi, Alex. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Yeah, as many as we can possibly fit in there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, questions. Okay, let me. Oh God, I send too many emails. I should send less emails so I can find the questions better. This is not it. Here we are.
It was the thread name live.
Yeah. No, yeah, I found it. So, the first, the question that people has been asking the most, but like by the tens, is about spirit animals and familiars.
Okay.
So, what's the lore behind that? Maybe Giorgia can tell us a little bit about how that's going to be included in the narratives as well, and how the mechanics of them works. And this is for you, Ian, definitely. And also, apparently, there is a lot of people that want some very peculiar animals and spirit animals. So maybe we can talk about that also later and list some of the most curious ones that I found in the comments.
Okay.
Who wants to start? Do we want to start
Ian,
on the
please.
lore and the vibe or the mechanics?
No, mechanics first.
Sure. So I'm happy to see that there's a lot of excitement about these. So the witches' familiars are expressed by one of their traits. So one of the 6 traits that defines a witch also represents their familiar, and so it represents both. The trait is an adjective specifically, and it represents both a characteristic of the familiar and of the witch. It does not define necessarily. There are examples of which kinds of animals might be represented by each trait, but players are free to envision their specific familiar in the way they prefer, and to have this and to interpret the trait either as the action of the familiar, so in a scene the familiar is doing something when you put that trait into play, or the witch is sort of drawing on the energy of the familiar to channel their main characteristic. Now, like all traits in Pumpkin Spice, they develop throughout your campaign, throughout your play, and therefore, as the familiar itself develops, it can transform into more and more, I would say, if it were me, more and more fantastical sort of versions of the familiar, the base familiar itself. So I think that's mechanically how it works. If something isn't clear, I'm happy to clarify.
Well, the idea revolving around the familiar was about the fact that a witch can be separated from a familiar. The concept itself, it's very connected. I can think of Sabrina, the teenage witch, and Salem, her cat. So I think that in a game like that, in which you have to role play as a witch, you need to have your familiar. It's very important that this is a narrative part of the game in which you can talk with them and let them act on the scene.
Mhm. Yeah, and I'd say there's one more thing that's important, because part of the question was about spirit animals and familiars. They're not the same thing actually in the game.
Yep.
So
No.
familiars are like Giorgia was saying, they are a specific manifestation of magic that is connected to the witch. So they're part of the witch and their relationship to the fount of magic. But spirit animals, spirit creatures are a wide array of magical creatures that sort of can take physical or visible shape when they are near the fount of magic, and we have some examples of that in the quick start already, actually.
Yeah, I think there was some confusion about this because some of the questions talked about them like they were interchangeable. They're not. They are pretty different part of the game and have different mechanics, and they are one is part of the witches, the familiar, I mean, and one is something that you might meet and not. Not antagonistic per se, but it's not like part of the coven, while the familiar is in fact part of the coven in some way.
Yeah,
Being
so
part of the witch.
yeah,
I
and the spirit animals might be creatures like again in the quick start that the witches will need to help in some way, or perhaps they're being a bit mischievous, again as in the quick start, and so the witches have to try to sort of avoid a magical incident happening, which is one of the things that they're trying to avoid throughout the game. And so there's a lot of different narrative directions for these creatures as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think now is the time to share some of the most requested spirit animals, familiars, and such. People really, really, really want to see bunnies in this game. They want the bunnies.
Okay.
They want the fluffy tails. They want them hopping around in the cafe. That's a really sweet one, I have to say.
Can't blame them.
Then
That's
yeah,
wonderful. Okay.
yeah. Then I've seen a lot of corvids, crows, and stuff,
Mhm.
and I have to say that those have basically been unlocked with the stretch goal about the flock of birds. In some ways, I
Mhm.
mean, we haven't specified what flock of birds, so it could be a murder of crows. It's very
Yeah,
witchy, if you ask me.
the spirit animal, yeah, and the I might give something away about character creation, but it actually crows are actually the specific example that is given to one of the choices that you can make about your familiar at the in character creation.
Yeah, definitely. Then I've seen bumblebees, so
I love that. That's
yeah,
cute.
making honey that the witches can use in their drinks. And foxes is another one that was asked multiple
Mhm.
times. And then someone quoted the book from T. Kingfisher, where a witch has a jar of sourdough starter as a
As the
familiar.
familiar. That's
Yeah,
great.
and that sounded really, really cool. And I don't know if we can put that because it's a little bit, it's a little
Peculiar.
bit peculiar, but and also it's by T. Kingfisher. But if you want to play with a sourdough as your starter, I mean, as a sourdough starter as your familiar, I mean, we cannot say no to you. At your table, you are the guide, so you can try and do that if you want.
It is a
It's
game that very
certainly sorry,
encourages.
yeah,
No, it's a
yeah,
game that very much encourages narrative inputs from the whole table, and therefore, I think there might be a space for that too.
yeah, some way, absolutely. Then I have seen a couple of questions in the comment that I am going to address. The minimum number of players, we have a solo mode unlocked now. So basically one, but if you mean as a group, you can play in as little as two. We'll also have specific rules inside the core rule book to, suggestions more than rules to play with a smaller
Mhm.
coven. Um, then the youngest age you'd suggest to start playing. I think at least middle school. So I would say 12, 13.
Um, I don't think that's a required age
Yeah.
to play, because if you're able to work with your imagination and
That's
share
true.
a story with all the coven, you're good, I think.
Yeah, probably maybe one would need to tailor the unexpected magical moments and
Mhm.
the eventual creature and spirits that a coven of very young witches could meet, just to tailor them to their maturity. We know that
Mhm.
everybody grows at different speeds. But yeah, I think actually, yeah, I have said the 12, but I think that it could be used with a coven of kids also. But obviously, you'd have to maybe make some adjustments and to let their fantasy fly if needed.
Yeah. I also, though, the kind of adjustments that you would need to make are ones that every play group makes. Again, because there is so much narrative input from the specific group, you can really tailor each play experience within a light framework that we provide. You can tailor the experience um, to your specific needs. So I think it's definitely possible to play it with younger children if you want to. 12 is a good age in general. I feel like for role playing games, but I've played games that I would not expect at conventions with younger children than that and their parents. So it depends on a lot of um, I think tailoring the experience to exactly what you want your specific group to have, yeah, more than on the ability, right, to participate in the game, I think.
In the
Yeah.
past, I saw some videos of a dad playing D&D with his two daughters. They were very little, like 6 or 8,
Yeah,
and they crafted an adventure made for them. So they tried, and it worked out. So
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
And the basic inspiration behind how the dice work are story dice, which I've said this before, but I have a set with, you know, different symbols on them, and I play those with I've played those with my 3.5-year-old very simply. But that basic mechanic is already understandable by a very small child.
Yeah. Oh, we also have a comment that says we already tried the game with an 8-year-old and a 16 years old and 2 adults based on the published guide to the quick start that you actually can find on the Baker Kit page to see how they like the idea. Both kids loved it. So no age
Oh,
limit on only cognitive age limit. That's very cool to
that
know.
is
Thank
that is
you.
so
Yeah.
sweet, and thank you for
Thank
sharing
you,
that. It's
Everton.
really wonderful.
Yeah. Also, I see there is an absolutely fair discussion going on in the comments. I only kindly ask you to be kind to each other and be, behave yourself. Don't make me do the admin stuff. Okay. Um, okay. I have also seen someone suggest in the comments an elephant, familiar, which, in a coffee shop, absolutely fine. No,
The
it's
proverbial elephant in the coffee shop.
exactly true that. I also have a lot of questions, obviously, about the solo mode. It was unlocked as a stretch goal, and as such, there obviously we didn't talk about it in the quick start. So we have a lot of questions about it, about how it actually might work. I will preface this by saying it was an unlocked stretch goal. So obviously we don't have it ironed out. We don't know how it will be in its final form. But obviously before unlocking it, we had a lot of very deep conversations about it. And we will definitely, we have definitely talked about that. So I will leave Ian and Georgia speak about it for a moment and see, what these conversations brought out.
When we first talked about pumpkin spice, we were talking a lot about journaling games with the solo mode. So they gave us a big inspiration. I can tell you some names that I played, like Fox Curious Floating Bookshop, 1,000-Year-Old Vampire, Be Like a Crow. So there are a lot of narrative games that we can draw inspiration from, and they are quite simple in their mechanical system. So it's, I think, and we already previously discussed it briefly with Diana, it's quite simple to adapt the game dynamics to a solo mode because the mechanical part is quite simple. I don't want to minimize your work, Ian, I'm sorry. But it's easy to understand, so it's also easy to switch it to a solo mode.
Yeah, I think Georgia really brought something out really important, which is the fact that the game already drew a lot of inspiration from solo mode, games that are meant to be played in solo mode of various kinds, because it has this very strong emergent storytelling that is shared, where narrative authorities are shared a lot by the entire table. We were already thinking a lot about both GM-less games and solo mode games, which are kind of two facets of a same idea. So a lot of the systems of the game already derive some inspiration from that. And when we were really we got a lot of requests for the solo mode, which was very exciting. And our conversation was really about, can we make this work without, breaking the game, or without adding something that transforms it into something different from what we had in mind? And the answer is, well, yeah, actually, because it's already set up to a large degree to follow some patterns that are typical of solo mode. I think the main thing that is important for us is that with this solo mode, we will need to give even more narrative support, hooks and advice and inspiration, and aid to players to build their own narratives. And that is something that is just going to benefit everybody who plays the game. There is one important thing that for maybe a question for Giorgia. So one of we do have in one of the pledges, we do have a journal in there, isn't it right?
Yep.
And I wonder, that is probably a good aid for solo mode, right? As a novelist, what would you think, Giorgia?
Yeah, I think that's a great tool to use for the solo mode, in which you can write all your thoughts and what your witch will do in her solo coven, or maybe a coven of more witches if you want. So I think that having a real journal can help the mind process the journaling part and the solo mode of the game.
Yeah, and really bring out the storytelling and the narratives, I think, in an even
Yep.
deeper way. Yeah.
Also handwritten, it's a very beautiful way of crafting a story.
Yeah, I see a comment also saying very much looking forward to the journal. I'm thinking about getting a feather pen for the game as well.
Oh wow. Yeah, very very I can't think of the word in English, sorry. On point, I guess. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Nice. Guys, I just want to address now a little bit of something that's been coming out in the comments. It's not one of the questions of the Q&A, but it's clearly a theme that's really close to the heart of many, and it's right. It's something that we understand. It's about the representation in the illustrations. We just wanted to tell a couple. I just wanted to tell a couple of things. I don't pretend to talk about for everybody. This project started as a direct inspiration from Sims art, and also it started as something that was deeply inspired by the magical girl genre, for example, Studio Ghibli movies. So art, medias, games, with a really important focus on the female figure, the woman figure, taking center and space and being the main character of the adventure of the story with the powers. So even though obviously, as we've stated multiple times, you can be whoever you want in this game. You can play as a witch of whichever gender, whichever sexuality, whichever ethnicity you want, because you have not a fixed preset of physical characteristic as a character in this game. You can literally describe your character however you want. The final design will be definitely mostly femme presenting, because we want that kind of experience, that kind of centered image of the female witch, simply also because it's not something that you see a lot of in the TTRPG world, honestly. I think that 99% of the books out there, of TTRPGs out there, are mostly male-dominated in the illustrations. And so that's also something that we wanted to achieve, something we wanted to do, to give a space that was mostly female presenting in that sense. So that gave the femme presenting people agency in that sense. So that's something we care deeply about, and that's something that will be maintained mostly in the final design as well. That said, We also are hearing you, we are reading you, we are seeing your comments, we are seeing your ideas and your reflections and your thoughts, which are mostly shared very kindly, so thank you. It's sadly it's not something to take for granted on the internet these days, so I thank you for your kindness and your well-mannered way of presenting your thoughts. And so know that we are thinking about this because obviously this project started as something very different for us from whatever we produced until now. If you go and see what we did as Acheron Games, it was mostly not traditional. I want to say not traditional because they are very different from other TTRPGs, but in the art style, definitely so. And in the kind of gameplay as well, we did mostly 5e compatible settings. So this was kind of an experiment that it went hugely well, which is amazing, but it started as an experiment with a clear inspiration from Sims Art Designs and also by licensing some of his already existing work. We will see what we can do now that the project is going so well with new art that we will be commissioning from Sims Art. Knowing that obviously a lot of it will still be the art we already licensed, of course. It wouldn't make sense to license art and then not use it. But we are taking at heart your suggestions, and we will be thinking about them when working on the final version of the book. Now, let's get back to our Q&A. Also, if you have any other question about this, if you want to talk about this, we have a Discord server which is very active, and we will take into consideration all your suggestions, and then decide what's best for the game, of course, because at the end, what we all want to have is a beautiful and amazing game to play together. Okay, so. Sorry, I didn't expect to have to talk that much, so now I have to drink from my mug of coffee. Okay. Another question that we got on the Baker Kit page that was very prominent is the mechanics about the new locations. I've seen a lot of people that were really curious. I can't speak English anymore. They were very curious about knowing how exactly these locations would work, both like narratively, like in the lore, Giorgia, that's you, and both mechanically, like how does it work with the cafe, the new different locations. For those of you who haven't followed the campaign, basically we unlocked as stretch goals new locations for the game. So I leave it to you.
Sure. So actually the locations that we managed to unlock is something I'm very excited about because they do allow us to expand the game quite a bit. These specific locations that are the stretch goals add customizable spaces to the cafe, which means that, for example, you can now have a cafe that is also a bookshop. You can have a cafe that is also a plant nursery. You can have a cafe that is also I forget which ones are there at this point. I'm very sorry, but and these locations are a combination of both narrative suggestions. So there is, storytelling that I can let Giorgia talk more about this, but they provide a specific vibe for these spaces, but they also provide specific mechanical challenges that can happen there. They will attract specific visitors, and they also will influence the dice slightly. For example, if you're doing something in the library, probably your wisdom, if you're rolling for wisdom essences, those might have a bonus or something like this. And these locations develop progressively throughout the game. So they're part of the witches both upgrading their cafe, but also if you do, you can also decide not to have the locations as part of your cafe, but as independent places in the village, for example, where you live. In that case, they also might bring in NPCs, so witches, other witches, not part of your coven, who are attracted to this place because the magic is growing, etc. And it's an exciting place to be, and they bring their magical bookshop, for example. And so then these become locations with NPCs with similar characteristics, so mechanically the same features, but they're not part of the cafe, they're independent. You can decide how to insert them in your game. So this is what we have in mind when we think about these stretch goals from a sort of design perspective.
Regarding the lore and more narrative part, when we first thought of pumpkin spice, we decided to use our contemporary world. So it was important also to have the cafe location also to enhance and expand the world, which is like ours.
Also, because let's be real, there's no such place as just a cafe anymore. It's always a cafe and something else. Or some places that also serves coffee.
Yeah. So we wanted that this world feel like ours, real. And to be real, it needed also other locations to present other characters, other NPCs, other witches, which are not part of our coven. And that can be an important part of the role of the story. So I'll have a lot of fun crafting all those witches.
And also, I imagine Giorgia writing some stories that are set not in the cafe to give some a little bit of variety. Yeah. If you don't know this, Giorgia will be basically the main author of the Magical Adventures book, because those are all short stories that will also function as adventure hooks to play as a coven of witches. And being Giorgia a novelist, in Italy she published a book with Acheron Books, which is the Italian fiction branch of Acheron Games. Actually, Acheron Games is the TTRPG international branch of Acheron Books, because that was born first, but let's not go into history. So, being herself a novelist, this is, let's say, your main role. It's your main class. It's your main witch trait.
I have a question for Giorgia, which is, is there a location where you are especially excited about setting a cozy tale, one of these stories?
As you can see from my smile, yes. The tattoo shop. I don't know if it's tattoo shop the correct name of the tattoo.
Yeah, tattoo parlor.
Okay.
Tattoo parlor. I think
okay,
it's,
okay. Where you can get a tattoo.
Well, definitely tattoos are an important part of this game. We also unlock the tattoo magic, if I'm not mistaken. So it's
indeed. Yeah. Well, where are you going to go get your tattoo magic, I would say?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. That makes sense. Absolutely. I also now want to share something that's not cozy at all for you two. Something that will make you shiver. A very tough question. People want you shackled at your desk, working on these PDFs.
Yeah. Guys, I have a full-time job aside from pumpkin spice. Free me, please.
Giorgia would love nothing more than to work every day, all the days on pumpkin spice. No, jokes aside, it's pretty difficult to say at the moment, also because if we keep unlocking stretch goals, we actually have to, write more stuff and do more stuff, so it will take maybe a little bit longer. But the idea, as stated on the campaign, is to ship everything in roughly a year. So obviously the PDF will arrive first because it's we will send you the PDF the moment we send them to the printer. So maybe even a little bit before, so you can take a look at them before and such. And also, I have seen a question in Italian, and so I want to answer that. Sì, il manuale sarà anche in italiano, lo sceglierai dopo, alla fine della campagna, dopo il Pledge Manager. If you didn't know, we are an Italian company. I don't know how you couldn't know since I speak like Super Mario, but we are an Italian company. Then I have a very interesting questions in the comments that I've not actually seen in very much in the Baker Kit campaign, but that I think is very interesting, which is in most action-based TTRPGs, a lot of the tension is based on combat and such. What is the main source of conflict and tension in this more slice of life-esque TTRPG?
Well, low stakes doesn't mean no stakes at all. So when you work with a group of people, you have to also handle all the little dramas or problems. You have to solve like your cafe machine when it's broken. So there are a lot of things that happen in your lifetime or your daily lifetime. So you have to manage also a lot of things that happen on a daily basis. That's the term I was searching for, on a daily basis. And these are like minimum things. But when you have to manage a cafe and your main job is to work with the people, you also have to take care of those parts and also the relationships building between the witches in your coven, which is a huge part of this game. And when two witches don't get along well, that might be also a big problem.
Yeah. And also, being such a community-based game, and the fact that the Fount of Magic is a shared resource mechanically, but also, like narratively, that makes for quite, quite a way to. I don't know how to say it in English. I'm sorry, I had a blank. What I wanted to say is basically that you need to confront between you and the other witches in the coven how you want to spend that resource, and it's not easy.
Basically. And this is something I've seen at the table kind of every time I played so far, is that because so there is actually one baseline very high stake, which is the fact that the magic is finite, and if you use it all up, it might be gone forever, which is a pretty high stake actually. And I have noticed that players really talk about it. Are we going to use magic now? Should we? Can we try to figure out another way to do this thing?
Yeah.
So
actually, in the Italian, you remember, Ian, in the Italian actual play,
yeah, we had some conflict among us, because not conflict, but there was a conversation about I overused magic in that situation, I think.
Nah, in the end you didn't, but yeah, we had to talk about it because we actually thought for a minute that we were going to, have depleted a little bit too much of our resources.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes a difficult conversation to have.
Yeah, and also the fact that there isn't violent conflict doesn't mean that there isn't that there can't be significant challenges. Like, for example, in just going off some of the live plays that we've done, they end with kind of unknown and potentially even dangerous. It's unclear. It depends on how the group wants to characterize this creature. So there's an encounter with some kind of rather powerful spirit who wants magic, essentially needs it for some reason, and there's a question: do we want to let it feed from the source, which is a risk for everyone? Do we want to try to stop it? Do we want to try to do something to sort of appease it for now and figure out a way later to how to help this entity? And different groups give different answers to that. Our goal is always to encourage not so much necessarily no conflict play, but a challenge-based play that encourages empathy and nonviolent resolutions, I would say, is what we're really aiming for.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I
don't
like that.
underestimate the limited funds points.
Oh yeah, no, that can go sour really, really fast. I see another couple of interesting questions in the comments. One is, will the storybook have an ISBN code in order to add it to reading trackers such as Goodreads and Storygraph? Of course, yeah. So you can definitely add that to your preferred reading app. Then, will the PDFs be available separately later if we want to buy one of the books singularly? Yeah, when they go on retail, you will be able to buy the singular PDFs by their own. So no problem with that. There's also asks, do you have any comparisons to make between Pumpkin Spice and other cozy RPGs?
Mostly journaling games.
Yeah, that's the thing I was going to tell. I don't think it's a fair comparison because
No.
most of the cozy RPGs I know, at least, are for solo players.
Yeah. I think. Sorry.
No, I
did I-
wasn't saying anything.
Okay, I thought I interrupted someone. I think it's a game that is. I'm trying to think about games that I really liked and that were important for me to think about or try when we were working on the design. Something um, Wander Home, for example, in terms of
Yep.
how the
Yeah.
how the storytelling is giving. I feel like Pumpkin Spice has more structure. I found Wander Home to be wonderful and a little difficult, actually, especially for new players. That was my suspicion. But I might be completely wrong. So we're trying. This is a light role-playing game with light rules, but it still has um, sort of. It is still more structured than something like Wander Home, for example, in terms of mechanics. Which, in my experience, at least working also. For example, where we do I work with a university where we do game workshops and things like this. I've often found that people who are not gamers find it easier when there are a bit more rules. And so here we're trying to find a real balance of enough structure for everybody to feel comfortable and understand what's happening, but enough freedom for everybody to contribute in a way that is meaningful for them. So that might be one of my biggest that I was thinking about, sort of benchmarks. I'll think about if there are more, but that would be definitely one.
Well, we can we can let it simmer and see if
Mhm.
something else comes out while we talk about it. Then there's our lovely Alex Valente saying that obviously the problems that one has to face in Pumpkin Spice, since it's an Italian game, it's probably the card reader that doesn't work or the bathroom that doesn't work.
Oh no,
That's,
for us it'll be the coffee is finished. What will we do?
yes, exactly. Like,
which
oh
is a
no,
real thing that can happen in the game, by the way.
oh no, oh goodness, what are you saying? No, that's a literal nightmare. I was thinking of more along the lines like, oh no, the foaming machine doesn't work. How am I going to make cappuccino? It's like something like
It's
that.
a veritable nightmare.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, someone is suspicious of my Italian claims because I don't move my hands. Well, I have to say, I'm trying to to behave, and that's why I have my mug. So I with my hands I take my cup. I take my cup and I don't move them too much because usually I end up touching this stuff, and and the sound goes real crazy. So it's so that's why. Molfai also asks, what games, TTRPGs, books influenced or inspired you to make Pumpkin Spice? There's a list actually on the campaign page, but we might do, like an actual proper list to share maybe in an update, Giorgia and Ian.
Yeah, of course.
Because obviously we put only like the major works, but there were a very high number of inspirations.
If you want, I can quote some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
As for the books, Legends and Lattes, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches.
I love that one.
Yeah, all the T.J. Klune's books like The House in the Cerulean Sea. And as for the games, Tavern Talk, Coffee Talk, Animal Crossing, the Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood, which is like a coven in the space of witches, and so on. There are a lot of cozy games revolving around witches.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I see someone in the comments have seen our actual play in Italian as well, because someone saying DJ was being aggressive. Yeah, she was a little bit.
Really?
That was my point. That was exactly my point. Thank you.
Then people commenting on our answers. It's almost more social drama, resource management, and daily problems. The core of the
with
game.
Some
Yeah,
spikes.
definitely.
Can I jump? Sorry, I'll add. Maybe this can also help think about the question of challenges. So we brought in, everybody brought in different inspirations, right? When we're thinking about this game and building it, etc. And so we mentioned the Studio Ghibli movies, right? Kiki's Delivery Service, but for me personally, there's a lot of like Mononoke Hime, Princess Mononoke, and Spirited Away, in the sense of the idea. Spirited Away. Think of Spirited Away, the when they have to clean out the river spirit, right? That is a really high stakes situation that is resolved in a delightful, non-violent, and very way, which requires a huge amount of bravery by the protagonist. And I think those are kind of might be the upper end of the types of challenges that will be more frequent as our witches develop their confidence and go out there and start encountering powerful entities, or if the fount thrives and more spirits are attracted to it, right?
Yeah, definitely. It will be interesting to see how the different covens will face the challenges that some maybe that we will think about, and also some that they will create themselves at the table. That's going to be really nice. Let's go to a silly question, and I say silly only because the commenter said so. But that I think will be a nice break from the more serious discussions. How do you all, as Italian writing team, feel about untraditional coffee drinks? You mean those Starbucks stuff with all the different syrups, right?
I feel like that's already an answer. Camila's already given her answer.
See, I moved the microphone. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. No. They are more like desserts to me than coffee, in the sense that they taste good. But if I want a coffee, the people in the Discord already have met all three of my ladies. That is my mochas. My three different mochas at home. I have one very, very big, one for the latte in the morning, and one very, very small, which is my espresso shot after lunch. And that's it for me.
I think I have 5 or 6 of them. I'm not joking.
of mochas for coffee.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
because my partner is Neapolitan, so the mocha thing is like an institution. So we have a different one for different type of coffees, different numbers of people. So it's crazy.
I am going to just shock everybody now by saying that I do not have a mocha anymore at home. Destroyed the last one, and I've lived so long now away from Italy that I don't like it very much anymore. See,
I
this
don't
is
know, Ian. I don't know
talk
if
about
you have
drama. Talk
the
about drama
curriculum vitae
conflict.
anymore to work
No.
on this project. Maybe you have to update your resume. I don't know, Ian. I don't know. We'll call you. We'll let you know. We'll send you an email.
I'm having ginger tea. That also counts as a beverage in
Yeah, of
terms of
course.
the
Yeah, it does. We are just joking. We are just teasing you.
Anyway, I like all those Starbucks drinks. I really like them. Coffee
Yeah.
with the latex, coffee with the whatever.
Yeah,
That's
I
cool.
mean, and obviously we all enjoy a good cup of pumpkin spice. Actually, me and Ian
Yeah.
drank something like that at the last Essenspiel in Germany. It's a very big convention of TTRPGs. So it was a very sweet moment because that was the moment where we first thought about the game. And, so finding it on the menu of a bar and actually getting to drink it was a sweet moment.
It was a message of some kind.
Yeah, people are having fun seeing our expressions at your revelation of Beforian.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, I understand. It's shocking.
Then people asking if there will be more playtesting materials. To which I say, watch out our Discord server because probably it might be something might be played there by our own Ian. And if you say, Camilla, I am not in the Discord server, how do I do it? You can find the link in the comments of the video right now. So come and join us. Then there should be a mandatory rule to drink coffee while playing this game. Agree, absolutely. Let's add it to the core rule book.
And the recommendations for play,
Yep.
things you need
Yeah,
for
exactly.
playing.
A question about the number of players, which is really useful because it ties well with another question that's been asked very much on the campaign, which is, I believe it said the game would accommodate 6 players, but the GM is also a player. Does this mean 5 players plus the GM or 6 players plus the GM?
5 players plus the GM, because the GM is also a player.
Exactly. And also this does tie in, as I said, to another question, which is how many dice sets do I need to play? People is really, really passionate about this question. The first answer is if you are talking about our beautiful, beautiful glittery dice, obviously you need lots of them. Like as many glittery dice as you can, because they are shiny. And the more shine, the better, right?
And beautiful.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
perfectly themed. And they have the
All
little symbols.
sparkling.
Yeah. No, jokes aside, as we have said multiple times,
Yeah.
you actually can play with whatever D6s you have in use.
Yeah.
But ours have the symbols, not the numbers, so it's easier to read them for this game. And also, again, they're shiny.
Yep. We haven't said how many though. As many as
No,
possible.
Ian, because I left that to you.
So I have personally, I have made a pledge so I could make sure I could order 2 dice sets. Because there are so many people and I wanted to make sure that I would get some myself. So I have ordered 2 for myself.
No, Ian, you had to write to me, and I would have said apart.
Yeah,
But let's not do this live. Write me an email. I will fix
but
this. I will fix this.
but you never know. So I think it depends a little bit also in which stage of the game you are, right? Because the more you grow as a covenant and as
Yeah.
witches, the more dice you will need. An individual, a witch by themselves needs at max 4. So with a 6, with 6, 4 to 6 actually, because there's some situations that can bump it up to 6, so 1 set. An entire coven would go, so for all the players, it would go from 6 to 12 up to a max of 18. You will never need more than, I believe the mathematical max amount of dice you might need at one time is 19. So
Yeah. If I mean, my mathematics are horrible, but it does make sense. It feels like it does make sense. So I think that's the right number. I feel it. That's I'm sorry. I got a little bit distracted because people really wanted to in the comments really wants to see us all over the world, like asking if we are going to participate in various conventions. So I want to answer briefly. Is Hackathon going to be at Essen or other conventions this year? Anything in the US? So we still haven't booked, so I cannot say 100%, but definitely there's the intention of getting back to Essen. So, we hopefully will see you there. In the US, we will definitely have some representation and some booths. Hopefully, we might be able to join as well, from Italy, part of the team at least. We usually are present at Gen Con. We've been multiple times, and at PAX in Philadelphia, and not as the main team, but as our, American team. We have, as I said, Hackathon is an international reality. We were born in Italy, but now have a US branch, and there's a couple of lovely people that help us run stuff in the US, and which really basically keep us safe and sound because we don't know how to behave ourselves. And if I have to be completely and we risk of getting lost and stuck in customs and stuff like that. But that said, if you ever meet us in person, we will have so many stories to share about our US adventures. But yes, if we have the chance, absolutely, we will be at Gen Con. Then there's a lot of people that says that any hot drinks works, not just coffee. We will oblige that yes, any beverage that's
Yes.
a magical beverage does work.
Because what matters is the magical essences that are sprinkled and infused within.
Exactly. Then someone asking if we are going to be in some conventions in the Netherlands, specifically Spellenbeurs. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right, Spellenbeurs. And Utrecht. Unfortunately, I don't think so, but I will, I will write the names down and see if they might be of interest, because obviously we are always looking to new venues and new conventions to go to. People accusing me of being a magpie. That's true. I am.
Cool, because of the glitter dye. Because of the glitter dye.
Yes, because of the glitters. I am a magpie. I won the night.
Sparkly.
This is a comment that I think everyone can see themselves into. Maximum number of dice. It feels wrong to say such a comment. And that's a very interesting question. How many sessions do you think a coven can get out of a single campaign? How long would it take to get to maximum traits levels for all witches generally? I think that's a very interesting question, but I don't know if it's one that we can already answer.
I have calculated this, and now I don't remember it. It is. Let me see. Give me a second, and I can give you an answer.
Absolutely. And then maybe we will have the chance to try and do a campaign on the Discord server and see how long does it take us. Then I have the last question that I pulled down from the questions on our campaign. Obviously, as I said, there are certainly many more, but I hope that we've answered the most requested. Traits, basically, how to describe them, how to use them, some other example traits for each witch type. There's particularly a comment that I put down that says, I really like the 6 listed against the 4 witches types in the quick start. Having around 12 example traits for each of the 6 witch types would be great inspiration for players. Generally speaking, how do traits work and how they can differentiate maybe witches that are of the same kind but with different traits. So I think this is more of a mechanical question. So Giorgia, I hope you don't mind if I maybe ask directly to Ian.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Sure. Well, thank you. First of all, I'm glad that that resonated with you. And yeah, so the basic traits are at the moment. So each witch has 6, and each type of witch has 12 in total. That is how it is right now at the state of the game. However, um, you so let's say you are a green witch. That doesn't mean that all your traits are green witch traits, because you
No.
first pick your traits, and then depending on which combination of traits you picked, responding to a specific question, you do a witch questionnaire essentially. After that, you discover which kind of witch you are. Um, and this is really important for the philosophy of the game, which means that you could have, 3 green witch traits and one traditional witch trait and 1 solitary witch trait, for example. Um, and then you would be a green witch in that case. This is important because one of the philosophies of the game is that you might not start the game as the witch you dream of being. The point of the game is becoming that witch. And this is the reason why the basic traits are at the moment 72, and they are fixed. We are working on sort of. I think there might be a little bit of tweaking because we want each one to be unique and to tell a different story when it's put into play. But they're 72, and however, each time you upgrade them, and each time your witch after having used them spends time, some of their free time reflecting on the use of this trait, interacting with NPCs, etc., you rewrite the trait. You can rewrite the trait, which means you erase the trait that the game gives you and you write your own upgraded version of it, which means that you start from a rather structured and relatively limited amount of traits, so as to not be overwhelming and give everybody a solid base to start off from. But as you then develop as a witch, you start writing your own traits and changing who you are as you continue this trajectory towards your realization, which is the sort of term for leveling up, basically, in the game.
I think that's a most comprehensive answer, but I wouldn't expect anything else from you, Ian. So,
Well, of course, I can't find these calculations that I made about the session amount, but because
it
it's late,
happens.
I'm tired, and it's always a bit daunting for me to be online. But I'll find them tomorrow, and I'll send them to Camilla, and maybe Camilla, you can post them. We can put them
Absolutely.
on the
And
response.
may I say, chat, please raise your hands and claps with your emojis, because Ian and Giorgia have been online with us in these occasions, and I know Giorgia has a YouTube channel, so maybe she's a bit more used to, but then again, not live, and then Ian is not used to be live online. So please, a round of applause for our amazing authors that are here with us and answering all our questions and being so gentle and available with us from Acheron in doing these live chats all together. I say maybe a couple of questions more, and then we go night, because here in Italy it's actually a bit late, and the days are long. The campaign days are always very long, as you can imagine. And also we have a stretch goal to update, because we actually surpassed the 5,000. I cannot even say it in English. The 560,000 euros. Can you believe it? Yeah, can you believe it? So it's wow. So one question that I think is really nice is, when do you think the character creation questionnaire will be available? You mean the which questionnaire? It's really funny for me. Which? Ian, may I do a little bit of a spoiler?
Sure.
We actually, I mean, it's not something that will be shared like tomorrow, but it's definitely one of the first things that we are going to share, because it is basically ready. So probably at the end of the campaign, a little bit later, we will share a 1.0 version of it. So we can see that we can do a little bit of play testing with it.
Yep.
Me and Alex, we have one brain and we share it.
Thank you, Alex.
Send
You did want puns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. People's asking Giorgia. Yeah, Giorgia has a YouTube channel in Italian talking about books.
Yep.
So if
That's all
if
about
you
books.
speak, yeah, exactly. Yeah, guys. Apparently, I was off by 12,000 euros.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. And I see a lot of drums and claps and hearts for all of you in the comments. So
Very
Thank
kind.
you. Thank you.
just sharing. And then I'd say the last question. Is there a lot of replayability with the games? And I'm excited about there being future expansions and storybooks. Well, we definitely love to, do other pumpkin spice stuff in the future, but first and foremost, let's do this one because we are still doing the campaign and we still have to do the books. So let's start with one, and then we'll see where that will bring us. But yeah, I think replayability. Honestly, I don't know about you, Ian and Georgia, but I think this is a mostly replayable game because your character will always be so different, and their path to realization will always be so different that you can basically replay it how many times you want, as many times as you tell a story basically, and you can tell infinite stories.
Yeah, and every cafe is different. Every time you start a new game and build a new cafe, it's can be in a different place that dramatically change the storytelling potential. And we are, I think, with Giorgia too, working really, really hard to provide as much playable material as we can for this game, so that there really are a lot of both from a mechanical, although the mechanics are simple, and a storytelling perspective. So as much support for your own creativity within this sort of world that we can. That's really
The
our
only
goal.
limit is your imagination.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with this
That seems like a fitting place to end this one.
yeah, exactly. Georgia snatched the occasion and said the perfect sentence to end this stream. So, thank you so much for being here, for being so passionate about this. Both you, Ian and Georgia, and and you all in the comments. It's been really amazing being able to answer all of your questions and chat a little bit together. If you came into the live stream later, you can always watch the first questions and the first answers back on YouTube, because this live chat will be saved as a live stream on YouTube. And so if you are a person coming from the future and watching this in the future, hi, person from the future. And I always say hi to the person from the future who's watching
No,
our videos.
that was very kind. It was just our collective reaction to that. We're very
People is we have people already giving the name to pumpkin spice two. One is two pumpkin, two spice matcha drift. One is pumpkin spice too matcha fun. People is getting crazy. I think we have to log
You're on
off,
fire,
otherwise
guys.
this will get.
oh yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, we have to write this down, guys. Thank you again so much for being with us, and don't forget that tomorrow we are going to have an exclusive interview with none other than Simzart himself. So we will have a chat with the artist and talk a little bit how pumpkin spice came to be, because a lot of people also were curious about the origins of pumpkin spice, how we came up with it, how then we started working with SimsArt. So it will be a nice moment to chat all together. And people saying that hearing us say the titles in the Italian accent just just made them happy. I'm happy about that. And again, thank you all so much for being with us. We'll wait for you in the community comments for the campaign and on our Discord servers and our social media. And have a good night, a good day, and a good brew of your favorite beverage. Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Good day, not night. Or,
Yeah.
or night.